Welcome to the Enduring Talks. On March 18th, a meeting was held in Ohrid, North Macedonia, at which the leaders of Serbia and Kosovo agreed on a plan to implement the deal on normalization of bilateral relations. According to the sources, the greatest difficulties were caused by the issue of community of Serb municipalities in Kosovo. Serbia and Kosovo have already signed about 30 agreements, most of which have not been implemented. But over the past few months, diplomats from the EU and US have been putting significant efforts to ensure the negotiations between Belgrade and Pristina are successful. The importance of setting relations between Serbia and Kosovo was highlighted by EU Special Representative Miroslav Lajcak. He said, adopting a plan to normalize relations between Serbia and Kosovo will narrow Russia's ability to interfere in the affairs of the region. After the Russian invasion of Ukraine, the stabilization of Balkans has become more important for EU than ever. Although the document was not signed, Kosovo Prime Minister Albin Kurti announced that it means the de facto recognition of Serbia and Kosovo. Serbian President Vučić said that Belgrade and Pristina had agreed on an implementation plan, which will become part of the EU negotiations path for each of the countries. I spoke with Darko Obradovic, program manager of the Center for Strategic Analysis, about the prospects of a compromise between Serbia and Kosovo.
The Franco-German model is actually the path line how to quit the circle of unpredictability and the crisis which occurred intensively during 2022. This crisis was launched by the Kosovo Prime Minister, which actually saw the chance to exploit the aggression on Ukraine because he believed that Serbia will be vulnerable in that occasion because the public opinion in Serbia, because the active measures which are present in the Serbia by Russian services, and also I can conclude that he was played as Russian useful idiot, maybe consciously, maybe unconsciously, but all those moves was actually in very good favor of the Russian vision of the Western Balkan region and Serbia itself. So the Franco-German plan is actually the path line which should agree both sides on predictability of the negotiation, so defining the rules how the negotiation will go on, defining the key topic which was identified by the America and European Union as hot topics which can create security and political crisis. And third one, it has the goal to result in the plans which will be separately signed by two actors, Belgrade and Pristina. And the whole confusion which occurred in our publicity came from three main sources. First sources is the opposition to the government of President Vučić. Another one is Russian active measures. And third one is the strategic communication by the Serbian government. In this situation, it was very hard to understand on the first hand what is the real purpose of the document. But document itself is, let's say honestly, it is more in favor of Serbs than Kosovo Albanians, because the goal of Belgrade is the collective rights and security for approximately 40,000 up to 100,000 Serbs on Kosovo. Another thing is the status of the Serbian Orthodox Church. And third one is the sustainable solution which will not inquire the mutual recognition and the seat in the United Nations membership. But on the end, this agreement, this plan strongly emphasizing that Serbia and Kosovo have the conscience of each other, recognize existence of both sides without the status. Also, which is very similar with this plan, is that this plan remembers on Kissinger consensus, and actually it is very often usage of the diplomatic ambiguity, where one side can say I am the winner, another other side can say I am the winner. But actually the document is the compromise, and I expect that the appendixes which will be signed will be actually directed to the real life problem solving, which means that Kosovo Albanians can drive all around Serbia with the plates, Serbs can drive all around Kosovo with the plates, and nobody will make obstructions about documents, about diplomas, and so on. But the path line is very long because nobody knows when certain points will be signed. All what we know that Europe and America does not have any more tolerance for delay. They are deeply understand that they must support these activities with investment and financial subsidies and incentives. So the message is very clear for the Belgrade and Pristina. International community will not tolerate anymore the status quo, which are fertile ground for the crisis and maybe clashes or skirmishes. That is the point. But on another point, we see that Russian diplomacy deployed all resources to try to compromise this agreement. They are using more sophisticated active measures than before, because they are now using channels which they didn't use before to obstruct such deals. Also, we see that 1 week ago, the Russian foreign policy ministerium actually launched the accusation that government of Serbia sending the weapons and ammunitions to the Ukraine, which is not true, of course, because our government unfortunately does not supporting Ukraine directly with the lethal weapons and ammunitions. But those accusations coming in the moment when Russians losing their patience about our foreign policy shifting towards this plan, because they know after Kosovo issue will be resolved on sustainable way, their emotional center will be transferred somewhere else, because after 5 years, if this plan succeed, nobody will care about Russian veto in the Security Council. Nobody will care about Russian soft fairy tale about that Russia is the protector of Serbs, about protector of Serbia and Kosovo, and so on. So because of that, they have deployed terrorists on the streets of Serbia. There was been an attempt to use the rifles during the riots on the 15th February 2023, but fortunately our security services cutted this false flag scenario, arrested the preparators. And there is one more thing: the preparators, first time it happened that the Russian proxies are accused for the treating to constitutional order, which means that this criminal offense is actually one step for the terrorist activity accusations, which means that Serbia sent very strong message to the opposers of this plan, because second time Serbia clearly said, we know who is the preparator of this. Now it is very big risk if we see informational operation deployed by Moscow. Now is very big risk for the Serbian government to preserve the security environment for implementation of those deals, to secure the environment which will not push some, let's say, emotional and violent outbreaks also in the north parts of Kosovo and also on the other parts of Serbia. Already is launched the Russian special operation, which is called Litije. Litije means the church processings, where they actually demonstrating against the government of Serbia. In this moment, there is very small number of the activists, approximately 200, maybe 300, but they launch it as the continuous activities day by day. A lot of the academicians and other people which have very close ties with the Russian universities, Russian organizations supported those activities. This very much reminds me about case in Montenegro, where Russians organized the church processing during 2019 and 2020, where they used polarization in the society on one very simple matter, and that simple matter was the law regulation of the church activities. So they have exploited already such chances where are existing polarization of society, and today we must be very aware and we must build our strategic communication on the higher level. We must use our national resilience much higher, and I think that our government must deploy private-public partnerships to countering those threats on the social media, in the conventional media, and also counterintelligence will have a lot of job to do to cut those covert activities which are already present. Russian ambassador have several public statements which are completely almost the similar like attacks before on Ukraine, like attacks on Bosnia and Herzegovina, like attacks on Montenegro and Republic of Moldova. So we have very nice and clear pattern how Russians will demonstrate their not satisfied opinion about these activities. So I hope so that the United States of America, European Union will push all efforts to support Serbian government in this activity to conclude the sustainable, long-term, predictable plan and agreements, because it is no matter of the mutual recognition. It is matter that with this agreement we should expel one of the key focal points of Russian influence here. So we will see how Serbian government will shift itself toward foreign policy posture. Will Serbia change the foreign policy posture? If Serbia is starting to change it, I think it is proper time to start now, because we must reshift our four policy pillar strategy to two policy pillar strategy, European Union and the United States of America. We will see this, and we will see will our government now enter in the phase of more connection with the People Republic of China, which can also profit if China change substitutes Russia in the matter of Kosovo. But I think that our government is now very clear. They will not lose this chance, and they will not waste the possibility for the better future in Serbia, because everybody knows after this agreement is signed, Serbia will not recognize Kosovo, but normalizations will be good. We will have one good environment for the more foreign investments in Serbia.
Mr. Obradovic, is it possible that the acceptance of the Franco-German plan by Belgrade could lead to dissolution of the ruling majority in the Serbian parliament?
First of all, the President Vučić has full support of the coalition parties. In this moment, nobody can bring some doubts that the coalition parties will not support this national effort. in the parliament was very weird situation. We have 331 assemblers which are very clearly pro-Russians, but it was very weird that the so-called the pro-liberal parties in parliament also attacked president, same as did those pro-Russian bloc. So it is not very clear what is the motivation of the pro-European Union parties to attack the president with the same message blocks as Russian parties. So this will be our political maturity will come onto the test. Everybody who do not support this, everyone who do not support this document and plan are clearly working against the future of Serbia. That is very clear. So I think it now is only on the President Vučić to post the good strategic communications with the rest of the population, who will not be sent astray by these narratives which is against the plan, because those narratives are pretty similar to the narratives of the Russian MFA. So this is the matter of the parliament. The ruling coalition is stable in this moment, and I think it will be like that.
Subscribe here to receive more videos from the new Geopolitics Research Network.